Booyah! Welcome to Mad Money, folks. Can you hear that rumbling? That's not an earthquake, that's Wall Street shaking in its boots. There's a new phrase buzzing around. A scary one, a shocking one. Sell America. Can you believe it? Our own backyard, the land of the free, the home of the brave, and some bigwigs are saying, get out! This isn't just some quiet whisper in a dark corner of a trading floor. No. This is getting loud. It's trending, it's on the screens, it's in the headlines. People are asking, is this the big one? What in the name of Benjamin Graham is going on here? Sell America. It sounds like treason, doesn't it? Like betting against your home team. But hold your horses. Don't call the patriotism police just yet. This isn't about abandoning the stars and stripes. It's about something much colder, much more calculated. It's about money, honey. Big money. And right now, some of that big money is looking at the good old US of A and thinking, maybe the party's over here for a little while. It's a strategy, a shocking one for sure, but is it a smart one? Or just pure, unadulterated panic? We've seen trends before, haven't we? We've seen the bulls run and the bears growl. But this Sell America chant has a different ring to it. It's got an edge. It makes you sit up and pay attention, maybe even spill your morning coffee. Is it a sign of a deep underlying problem? Or is it just a temporary blip, a knee-jerk reaction from a bunch of nervous Nellies who got spooked by a shadow? We're going to dive deep, peel back the layers, and figure out if this is a 5-alarm fire or just someone burning toast in the Wall Street kitchen. Because let me tell you, when a phrase like "Sell America" starts gaining traction, you don't just ignore it. You investigate. You put on your detective hat, you grab your magnifying glass, and you follow the money. Where is it going? Why is it leaving? And most importantly, what does it mean for you, the individual investor, the person trying to build a future, a nest egg, a little piece of the American dream? Stick with me, because we're about to break this whole thing down, Mad Money style. Alright, let's get down to brass tacks. What does Sell America actually mean? It sounds dramatic, like everyone's packing their bags and moving to Mars, but it's not quite that. In Wall Street lingo, Sell America is a shorthand, a catchphrase. It means some investors, big institutional players, hedge fund hotshots, are reducing their exposure to US stocks. They're hitting the sell button on companies based right here in America. They're taking their chips off the US table, at least some of them. Think of it like a portfolio diet where US equities are the carbs they're trying to cut back on. Now, this doesn't mean they're selling everything American. No. It's not a total fire sale, not yet anyway. It's about reallocation. It's about shifting focus. These investors are looking at their big, fat portfolios, stuffed with Apple, with Microsoft, with all the US giants that have made people rich for years, and they're saying, maybe it's time to lighten the load a bit. So, why the sudden urge to hit the eject button on US stocks? What's fueling this Sell America fire? It's not just one thing, folks. It's a cocktail of concerns, a perfect storm brewing over Wall Street. First up, let's talk valuations. Ki-ching. For years, US stocks, especially tech, have been on a rocket ride to the moon. But what goes up sometimes, well, it needs to take a breather. Some analysts are screaming that US stocks are overvalued, stretched thin like a rubber band ready to snap. They're looking at price-to-earnings ratios and saying, whoa, Nelly, that's too rich for my blood. Then there's the inflation monster. Grrr! It's been lurking, and now it's showing its teeth. High inflation eats away at profits. It makes everything more expensive, and it spooks investors. When the cost of bread and gas goes up, people get nervous. Section 4, Beyond Our Borders. Where's the smart money heading now? If these big investors are trimming their US sales, where are they steering their ships? Where is this Sell America money flowing? They're not just stuffing it under the mattress, I can tell you that. No, they're looking for new ports, new lands of opportunity. And right now, a lot of eyes are turning towards emerging markets. Think places like India, Brazil, parts of Southeast Asia. These are economies that are still growing fast with young populations and a rising middle class. They're hungry for growth, and some investors believe they offer better bang for the buck compared to a potentially toppy US market. Europe is also getting a second look. Surprise! For a long time, Europe was the underdog, the slow and steady tortoise to America's hare. But now, some are saying the tortoise might just have an edge. European stocks, in many cases, are cheaper than their US counterparts. They haven't had the same meteoric rise, so their valuations look more reasonable. Plus, some European economies are showing signs of resilience, and their central banks might not be as aggressive with rate hikes as our Fed. Section 5, Flash in the pan or a fiery new era? The longevity of Sell America. Now for the crystal ball question. Is this Sell America trend just a fleeting moment, a temporary hiccup, a summer fling for Wall Street? Or are we witnessing the dawn of a new long-term shift in how global capital gets allocated? Is this a blip or a fundamental realignment? This is where the experts, the gurus, the guys with the fancy charts start to disagree. And believe me, they can argue until they're blue in the face. Some will tell you, don't worry, America always bounces back. US innovation will prevail. Buy the dip. They believe in the inherent strength and dynamism of the US economy. On the other hand, you've got the bears, the skeptics, who say, this time it's different. Danger! Danger! They argue that the US market's dominance over the past decade or more was an anomaly, fueled by super low interest rates and a unique set of circumstances. Now that those conditions are changing, they believe we're heading for a period of US underperformance relative to other markets. They point to historical cycles where different regions lead the global markets for extended periods. Maybe, just maybe, it's someone else's turn to wear the crown for a while. My take? I'm always listening, always learning. Section 6. Your money, your move. Navigating the Sell America storm. Alright, we've talked about the Sell America buzz, what it means, why it's happening, and where the money might be going. So, what's the bottom line for you, the individual investor, the person trying to make sense of all this noise and build wealth? First things first, don't panic. Seriously, making rash decisions based on scary headlines is usually a recipe for disaster. Remember, the Sell America trend is largely driven by big institutional players with different time horizons and risk profiles than you might have. What's right for a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund isn't necessarily right for your 401k. My advice? Always think about a balanced portfolio. Diversification. It's not just a fancy word, it's your best friend in choppy markets. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether that basket is US stocks, international stocks, or anything else. Consider having a sensible allocation to both US and international equities. If you've been heavily overweight in US stocks for years, maybe, just maybe, it's a good time to rebalance a little.